everybody. So last week, Ali introduced to you the hunger cues assignment and really starting to understand the difference between hunger and appetite. And if you remember from last week, hunger is that drive to eat from the neck down. It's actually innate. It's this born drive that we have to satisfy being hungry, versus appetite, which is what drives us to eat from the neck up. It's not something that we're born with, it's something that we learn. And so if somebody walked by with a pizza right now and we could see it and smell it, the drive to eat it would all be coming from the neck up. So really starting to recognize the difference between those different kinds of cues. And it's not that appetite is bad and hunger is good, it's just recognizing them and kind of using them to your advantage. So this week's exercise piggybacks on last week's exercise, where you were asking yourself, are you hungry and how hungry are you? So this week, as you start to grab something to eat, as you start to feel hungry, and one of the problems that some of our patients have is if they're feeling like eating or if they're feeling stressed, they feel like as long as they're grabbing something that they consider to be healthy, that it's fine. Well, at least I'm getting grapes, or at least I'm eating an orange. This is a problem because it's almost never the problem of the food that you eat. The problem is almost always what got you to eat the food. So even if you're choosing something that you consider to be healthy, it's that drive to eat the food that tends to be the problem. So this week, as you go to eat something, whether it's a planned meal or not, I want you to pretend like I'm right there with you. I know, it's a little scary of a thought, but pretend I'm right in the kitchen with you. And I'm asking you, are you hungry? And you might say to the pretend me, well, of course I'm hungry. I'm in the kitchen. Why would I be in the kitchen if I wasn't hungry? And so I'm going to ask you, how do you know? How do you know that you're hungry? And you might say, well, because I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about this orange or these grapes. That's up here. You're thinking about food. So that is from the neck up. So it's an appetite drive to eat. What about your hunger drives? How do you know that you're hungry from the neck down? Is your stomach growling? Are you feeling a little dip in your energy? Are you feeling a little shaky? Are you having trouble concentrating? Has it been more than 3 hours since you ate last? If the answers to those questions are no, then you're probably just responding to an appetite drive, not necessarily a hunger drive, and you should find something else to do, find a way to distract yourself and then come back and answer these questions later. So at the point where you can answer my question, how do you know that you're hungry? You can say, well, I know because my stomach is growling, or I feel a little empty, or I'm feeling a little shaky, or I'm having trouble concentrating, all of these things that your body might tell you from the neck down that you're actually hungry. Then the second step, which is on a document that I'm going to send you with this 3-step process, the second step is, what do you feel like having? This is where appetite and hunger really get to work in concert together. Do you feel like having something sweet? Do you feel like having something salty or something crunchy? The mistake that a lot of us make is we're so just pulled around by our appetite drives to eat, by sights and smells of food, by being bored or having some kind of an emotional response, that we never stop to do the first step. We never stop to ask ourselves if we're actually hungry, and how do we know that? So once you've determined it, then you can ask yourself, what do I feel like? Now, if you feel like cookies, that's a problem. And so you're gonna have to decide, what is it about the cookies? Do you really feel like something sweet or something crunchy? What is the flavor and the texture that you're actually going for there? And you'll have to find a way to satisfy that within the scope of foods from the diet. But it's really practicing listening to what it is that your body's asking you for. Once you've determined a hunger level, and you've chosen a food based on what textures and flavors that is gonna satisfy you at that point, then I want you to evaluate. So when you're done eating, go back to those hunger cues. If your stomach was growling, is it still growling? If you were feeling a little shaky, has that gone away? Do you feel like you have more energy than you did when you started eating? So 3 steps, ending with just a basic kind of scan of your body and evaluating that hunger level. I know that it feels a little tedious, that it can feel a little time consuming, but right now you're on supplements and meal replacements. And I'm assuming that you don't want to be on those for the rest of your life. But what they're doing for you right now is they're taking away the need to count your calories, which is tedious and time consuming, It's taking away the need to watch your macronutrients, so your fat and protein and carbohydrates, and it's taking away the need to make a lot of decisions about food. Once those supplements and meal replacements come out, which they're going to need to eventually, something has to replace that. Something has to replace that safety net. So you better be either really good at counting calories or watching your macronutrients, or you're going to have to listen to your body. And listening to your body and finding out what your hunger cues are and responding to your hunger cues is where eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle becomes enjoyable. It stops being a burden and it starts being something that you actually enjoy. I'm going to send you that document. Please give it a shot this week. You got nothing to lose by sticking that on your fridge and just giving it a shot this week. Ideally, every single time you eat, but at least several times before you see us again, so that we can take those experiences that you have and help you work through it. Also, guys, please keep records. If you're ballparking what you're eating each week, then any plan that we make with you is also ballparked. It's really important moving forward so that we can help you get to your goal, that we know what it is that you're eating. So please keep some records for us this week and set your appointment, and we'll see you.